Song's called The Final Hour.
So the idea was we were going to do 2 albums, G.L.M. and then an album called Against the Grain. Of course, Against the Grain came out later, but the idea is we're going to do 2 records, and I think Frontline said, well, why are you doing that? Just do 1 record.
He fell to his knees. The time had come, and he knew the sacrifice just had to be paid for you and me. It's the final hour. It's the final hour before the cross and the victory.
Well, sometime in 1985, I wrote a song called Final Hour, and I put it in this little green book. I took this little green book with me to a place called Cornerstone 85, got back home, and I went to look for my little green book. Because my little green book had what song? Final Hour. And I couldn't find my little green book. I thought, where did I leave that book? I left it behind stage at Cornerstone. Hey, that song Final Hour was a good song. How did it go? I don't know. I couldn't remember the words. Didn't have them written anyplace. So I contacted Cornerstone and contacted Dick Randall, who was our stage manager at the time, or person to help us behind stage. And I said, Dick, by any chance, did you see a green book laying there and pick it up? Because he said, I was going to call you, Mike, because I found a book back there that looked kind of important. I picked it up. I said, thank you. I need that book. It's got the only set of lyrics to a song called Final Hour. Let's put it this way, had he not found that book, I would not have recorded Final Hour. That would have been a done deal. It would have been lost. I couldn't remember the lyrics. I think I even tried to jot them down. I didn't remember. So I went to E flat, down to D minor, and then what I like is which actually is the 6th chord, 6th chord, the 7th chord, 6th chord, 7th chord, back to the tonic minor. So, I use music theory. You guys that aren't studying music theory, you need music theory! But really the genesis of G.L.M, Altar Boys 3, came in late 1982 when I wrote a song called You Found Me. Really, the idea of You Found Me was that I wanted to sit and write a song kind of like U2. Structurally, it's very, very simple. There's not much to the song. The verse and the chorus are essentially the same chords along with the intro. Da, na, na, na. Thought that I wasn't gonna. Never changes until you get to the solo part, and they finally answer, "You found me." The next song I wrote for G.L.M was a song called "Calling to You," and that was written in October 1984. And I specifically remember that being up in the mountains with my wife and Lake Arrowhead. We're on a little vacation. And I had my guitar and my little Walkman at the time. He had a little Walkman. I plugged my headphones in, and we had a little balcony on the cabin we were staying at. And I just paced back and forth, playing that line. And I didn't really know where to go with it from there. I just kept pacing back and forth for hours and hours and hours and hours, just playing that line over and over and over and over and over and over again. Unconditional Love, the story behind it, a song written by Donna Summer. Donna Summer at the time had given her life over to God, and that was an important story. So she had this song. So I may have been attracted to it. Maybe someone suggested it. And the solo, I think, goes this little run scale. That was actually taught to me by Ken Tamplin from Shout. So if you hear the little solo, it's like my tip off to Ken. He taught me this little. This little run thing. So I got that from Ken. I stole it from Ken. It's just a warm-up scale. I came up with this song called "There Is a Love." And it was very different, very, very jangly, very 60s sounding, but I liked it. And I remember us working on this song and really having a hard time to perfect, because immediately what we want to do is start bashing at everything. And everything we're doing is 180, 185, 200. And so we had to really massage and work this song. And I think I actually come up with the idea of those sparse kick patterns. If you listen to the song, it's got like, doom, there is a love, da-doom, doom. So that was one of my favorites. And in the studio, we used a Vox 12 string on it, so that was really cool. Then soon after, I started jotting down some ideas about a guy named Jimmy and a Dana and a Sally. I don't know exactly why I picked these people. And back to the 4-chord major, which is real different. I'm like, can I do that? Shouldn't it be like G.L.M, major? There's a message that we send. No. Cut to the major. 5-chord minor. And up to a 6-chord minor. We were in Palm Springs in November 1985, and I came up with this. Da-da-da, da-da-da. And I think I tried to write a song around it at first, like something. I couldn't quite. So again, I'm walking around Palm Springs. My wife's down by the pool enjoying the sunshine. I got my guitar trying to work on the song. And I remember telling her, honey, I got the song, man. I got the song going. Hey, can you come out and spend some time with me? Well, just hold on. And then I came up with the line, "You Are Loved." It's like, whoa, you are loved. Oh, this is great. She's begging me, come on. Honey, it's called You Are Loved. So I kind of looked at everything we had, and everything seemed kind of fast. And I thought, well, we need something kind of thoughtful and slow and plotty. And I thought, well, I would want to make this song make a statement. And so within 20 minutes, I came up with a song called I Question It. Sometime in 1985, Ric brought in a song that would really become a great staple and real important song for G.L.M. It was the song Life Begins at the Cross. I'm not talking about religion. I don't know what part I came up with first, but I do remember coming with liking that beginning line. And that hammer on. Let's get to what G.L.M was about, Gut Level Music. It was recorded at 3D Studios in Costa Mesa. It was owned by Doug Doyle, and Frontline did a lot of work through 3D Studios and hired them. It was close by, price was reasonable. I think the total cost of the record was about $6,000. We spent 160 hours. When it came time to do like Final Hour, a lot of there's a sound of nails being pounded, and that was Ric. He did that on keyboards. There's also some backwards things on both G.L.M and I believe Final Hour backward drums, and that was literally sampled, I believe, looped back in. Alex McDougall also came in and played a lot of the percussion, a lot of the tambourine. I think he did the tom overdubs for G.L.M. We worked with Terry Taylor. He really helped with a lot of the vocal lines, a lot of the guitar lines. Another guy that worked on it was Rob Watson. And Rob was a real nice calming effect. He really had a nice calming effect, especially on me. And he was just great and very amicable, and him and Terry had a real nice energy. But I had a real good feeling about G.L.M. When I looked at the record, the best way I could describe it was like a perfect day. It was just ahead everything. The message was clear and perfect. The songs fit together. The sequence of the tracks fit together. Everything was just perfect in my mind, as far as the most perfect record, at least we put together. And what I've looked at other records, there wasn't a weak track on there, and there was enough variety to make it interesting, but not things out so far out in left field, which for an artist can be real different. I mean, you want to stretch yourself, you want to try new things, but you want to kind of keep everything cohesive. But fast forward 30 years, that record really connected with people on an emotional and spiritual level, and that's what you really want. I mean, how do you do that? Especially when you're doing what we're doing, making songs, putting them out there. You want them to connect, and sometimes you put out stuff that you think is just sonically great and sounds great, and the guitar lines are perfect, but it doesn't connect. For whatever reason, with G.L.M, it connected with an audience and continues to connect today. Like I said, I think some of my records later on have been just as good or better. I think Full Circle, my solo record I did in 2001, I think it's better sounding. I think some of the Clash of Cymbals, the second Clash of Cymbals, Begging at Temple Gate, was on equal par with G.L.M. I think the new Altar Village record, Heading Out West, was on equal par sonically and musically with G.L.M. But you can't deny how that record connected with people. Again, the record was really easy to make. It wasn't real difficult, nothing difficult, but in the short time frame that we had, 160 hours, we put everything we could into it. I mean, you gotta remember, most bands these days, they go into the studio, they carve out 2 or 3 months and they spend that time on making a record. For us, we also had to squeeze in our home lives and touring and concerts and so many other things. So we dash in the morning and go out at night and do a concert at night. You know, that's unheard of these days. You know, for most professional working groups, the Altar Boys is special, very unique, a lot of work, and everybody that was genuinely encouraged and challenged was worth the work, worth the effort, worth the sacrifice, and worth the price. Very much.
You sing with me, will ever, dear me, will ever, God bless you guys, Jesus is #1.